Hello, everybody. We're back for the second part of this. We are, remember, talking about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular have negative reciprocals. So let's do some work where I don't give you the two equations. I just give you two sets of points, and we can look at these a couple different ways. So we're on page 16 in your packet. It wants us to decide if to use the slopes. It wants us to determine whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So we can look at this a couple different ways because it is geometry and we're using graphs. So you can always plot the points to find the slope, or you can just use your formula. So let's look at line UV first, or segment UV. All right, so we have XY, XY. So when we do our formula to find the slope, y minus y over x minus x. It doesn't matter what point you start with, but make sure the y's are on top. So 2 minus negative 1. And because I started with 2, I need to start with 0. So 0 minus negative 1. This ends up being 2 plus 1, which is 3. And this ends up being 0 minus negative 1, which is 0 plus 1, which is just 1. So the slope of UV is 3. Let's find the slope of XY. All right, so again, y minus y, 1 minus 3, doesn't matter what order, 3 minus negative 3. All right, so we have negative 2 over 3 plus 3, which is 6, negative 1/3. All right, so let's compare them. Well, if they're parallel, they're the same. We can see that this is 3 over 1, or just 3. This is negative 1 over 3. They're not the same. So let's figure out if they're perpendicular. Remember, with perpendicular, they're negative reciprocals. So this is positive, this is negative, and it's been flipped. So that means our two lines are perpendicular. Now, what if you didn't want to use the formula? That's okay. You could have plotted the points. Remember your x and y axis. All right, so let's plot the points 0, 2. Because 2 is in the y position, it's on the y-axis. So if you're not good with plotting those points, that's u, and negative 1, 1, v. So if we look at this segment, you can see we're going up 3 over 1. For xy, 3, 1. And it's always good to label, negative 3, 3. So here's this line. That looks pretty close to perpendicular, but again, look at your slope. You're going down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3. And again, you can see that those are negative reciprocals. So you can either do it graphically or use your formula. All right, let's check CD and EF. So again, for CD, I'm going to find my slope, y minus y. If it helps put the x and y's there, doesn't take much to do that. So y minus y over x minus x. All right, so if I subtract the y's, negative 3 minus 1 and negative 1 minus 1. So we have negative 4 divided by negative 2, which is positive 2. All right, let's find the slope of EF. Same way, m equals our slope. Remember, in our slope intercept formula. So 1 minus 3 and negative 1 minus 0. So we have negative 2 divided by negative 1 is 2. Those are the same. So that means our two lines are parallel. And again, you could plot those and see that as well. So I'll do that really quick. Negative 1, negative 3 is right here. Always label your points. And if you want, you could extend the line out so it's longer, if it's easier to see that way. Let's make sure you're using, it would help if I made my line go through my points. That happens. Okay, close enough. All right, so let's do EF. Negative 1, 1. And 0, 3 again would be up here. So that was E and F. Always label. And we'll plot our points. Extend that out a little. Oh my goodness. Now I've moved things around. Give me just a second. So F was 0, 3. Get out of there. Oh, the whole thing moved. My goodness. See what happens sometimes? We sometimes make mistakes. It's okay. I'm just going to redo it. So we have negative 1, 1. And 0, 3. It would help if I was at 0, 3, not 0, 4. Now when I go to draw my line, you're probably thinking, I'm so glad that I can fast forward this. Okay, so there we go. You can see that they're parallel. And again, you would notice you're going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Same with this, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. They both have a slope of 2. They're parallel. Okay, so on the practice pages, that's it for the notes. On the practice pages, you're going to be working on the next 2 pages. You're going to do 1 through 8, find the slope of a line that's parallel. All right, remember, same slope. So figure out the slope of these and then tell me what it would be parallel. Now with 7 and 8, you're going to have to get y by itself first. You need to put it into slope-intercept form first. Oops. So y equals mx plus b. Get y by itself before, and then you can identify what the slope is. And again, we'll be working on this in class tomorrow. Perpendicular, remember, if it's negative 1/2, perpendicular would be a positive 2 over 1 or just 2. All right, and again, for 15 and 16, you're going to have to solve for y. All right, the point slope stuff at the bottom, we're not getting into just yet. So you're just doing numbers 1 through 16 on that page. And it's loading the rest. And I believe page 17, but we'll talk about that in class tomorrow. So start with 1 through 16, just finding the slope of a parallel line and a perpendicular line, and then we'll go from there. Let me know if you have questions or stop by the math lab. Have a great day.